Before we start this video, I would like to thank 7HNL and Disco and Haze for supporting me on Patreon. If you would like to access my videos early and ad-free, along with suggesting videos, the link to my Patreon will be down below. Thank you again to my current and future patrons. Welcome to my top 20 heroes in Battlefront 2 list. There are only 20 heroes, by the way. Only 20 there are, no more, no less. Don't know where the other two keep coming from. I do not care how cute they are. Now, hear me out. I have been playing this game since the open beta back in, what was it, September of 2017? But, granted, I've been taking breaks in between different updates because of how broken it can be at times. I gave up on Battlefront 2 when I reached level 37 with Vader when the crafting system was still a thing. Then I came back for the progression overhaul and the Clone Wars updates, and ever since I've been on again, off again. Needless to say, I have a pretty stacked knowledge of how Battlefront 2 works, and I think I'm ready to release my own tier list of the heroes and villains in Battlefront 2. This entire video is objectively correct because I say so and it's my video. Any opinions in the comment section will be annihilated with the force of an actual titan. You may post your own down below and let me know what you thought of this tier list. So, little forewarning, none of these heroes are bad. Every one of them has something that they are good at, some more so than others. Because a hero is at the bottom of the list does not necessarily mean they are bad. I thought I should preface that, as I play as even my least favorite heroes at times. I like all of the most of the heroes, and I've died to nearly all of them even when I last recorded these videos. So let's get started, shall we? At the bottom of the list, I'll have to put Boba Fett. Now I have Boba at least decently leveled up, but that is because of co-op. Boba really isn't my cup of tea. I find myself skipping over him a lot more often than not, because he doesn't feel very satisfying and it's pretty dangerous to play as him. Boba may end up being my next main, but I never really feel like playing as him. He's a devastating hero though, don't get me wrong. Fett players are scary, fast, and do a lot more damage than really just about anyone on the dark side. There's a few problems I have with him. There's no defense that he really has other than running away, and I absolutely abhor that idea. Well, most of the time. And he's not that hard to counter, especially if you're playing as Anakin. The concussion rocket is also practically useless, despite having the disruptor card. I can't say I'm a fan of the Fett man, despite how good a lot of players can be with him. Number 19, I'll give to Chewbacca. I'm still working on getting Chewbacca max rank, at least I think I am, but it's the same deal as Boba Fett. I just don't like his playstyle. He's very anti-infantry, but I almost never play the infantry game modes. There's just plenty of other heroes out there that are more devastating than Chewbacca can be. Sorry Chewie, I'm not a big fan. Chewbacca mains are scary though, don't get me wrong. There is definitely a great way to play as Chewbacca that I probably just haven't figured out yet. Everyone else seems to have him down though, so that's something. 18's gonna have to be Bossk. I find his kit a little hard to use, but then again I'm pretty small brain power. My solution to things are usually just shoot more bullets at it or hit it more with a lightsaber. Traps really aren't my thing. On top of that, it's pretty hard to put distance between you and a more dangerous hero. You know, like Obi-Wan, Luke, Rey, Leia, Han. All in all, again, scary to fight, hard to learn, especially for someone small brain like me. Just above Bossk is gonna be Yoda. Yoda has always been a conundrum to me. It feels like there are more than a few different ways to play Yoda, but I really just don't understand how to use his abilities that well. I know how Unleash works, and I know Dash can go through blocks, but Presence seems to surprise me more often than not. The bonus health is nice, but after that, the technical part kinda leaves me confused. Yoda, however, has killed me many times, especially as a blaster hero. With a small stature and an even smaller hitbox, it's hard for me to land shots on him like this. That's not even mentioning the fact that his animations leave him jumping around everywhere. Yoda's cool, but it feels like every time I put him on, everyone has god tier aim. At number 6 we have Finn. Honestly, I forgot Finn was in the game, but recently I've been playing him more and he's not that bad. I wanted to start making guides before I recorded this content, and now I want nothing to do with this game. Finn has surprised me more and more recently with how dangerous he can be. I took down a Grievous with him one day, but I forgot to record it because I suck at gathering footage on a whim. Finn's undercover team isn't that great, but his other two abilities really help with controlling hero positions for flanks in Heroes vs. Villains, not to mention he's extremely anti-infantry, especially from a far position. I'll give Lando the number 15 spot. I remember him being a beast in the past, but I haven't really picked him up that recently. I've died to Lando a lot more often than I care to admit. I take it he's still mega strong in certain aspects. I think everyone figured out how to counter him over this time though, and I really don't think he's the menace that he used to be. There's definitely stronger competition out there for strong heroes, but Lando, again, is a great hero. I do not find myself using him that often though. Next up is going to be Phasma. I do not understand why everyone puts Phasma in last place. She's pretty strong given her abilities. They aren't a great set, but the Phasma players make do with what they have, and it's scary how effective they can be. The Phasma mains do not get the credit that they deserve, despite how much everyone hates them, myself included. She's very noob-friendly too. I don't like playing with new players, but it's nice to see that they have a few options when they first start out. Her first card is by far one of her best. Just stick by your team and the enemy heroes will hunt you down, and definitely not one at a time. I just wish she had a more active role rather than being a passive hero. A Phasma player generally goes like this in Heroes vs. Villains. You snipe at them, you wait for them to come to you, shock them with your droid, headshot, dodge around them, rinse, and repeat. On occasion you can throw in staff strikes. Phasma just kinda camps out in the corner while everyone else goes have fun. Moving along, let's see how Leia's doing now. Yeah, she's alright. At number 13, Leia's rework really made her into a powerhouse. Leia basically jumped in the hero ranks and even got a higher pick rate since. I see her in nearly every match of Heroes vs. Villains, and that's for a good reason. So why isn't she higher? It's still not that hard to kill her. Especially when she's alone, but you have to make sure that she is alone. The other heroes seem to simp after Leia, so whenever she is damaged, the other heroes came after whoever dared touch their queen. It's kinda spooky how tenacious they are about killing you too. Just above Leia will be her father, Anakin Skywalker. Honestly, he's strong, but I don't really pick him that much anymore. Since he's riddled with bugs and on top of the fact that the lightsaber combat is broken, it's straight up a death sentence to pick him anymore. I see him all the time in number 1 spot, number 2 spot, number 5 spot. Hell no. He's average at best. You're guaranteed damage if you do pick him, but you may as well just choose someone else because of how awful he is to play as now. You can get taken out of Heroic Might, Passionate Strike is a 50-50 shot of actually working, Pull Dominance leaves him open to damage for nearly a full 2 seconds, and there's a reason why that's bad. And Retribution is still clunky, but that's by far the most consistent ability he has. And it's still broken. He's a mess, and the community was so upset they died to Anakin in the past that DICE had to neuter him. What the hell did you do to Anakin Skywalker? While it is a design flaw that the heroes do less damage than the villains, Anakin was supposed to help the heroes and do more damage because no one else was doing enough. And because of that, now he's practically useless against everyone above him on this list. I'm probably going to make another coherent rant in the future about him. Anyway, yeah, Anakin's number 12, doesn't even crack the top 10. What a joke. Above Anakin will go Obi-Wan. Yeah, I said it. Obi-Wan is easier to use than Anakin. Unlike you, Anakin, he doesn't get broken out of his animations. Okay, so there's one, but he kind of deserves that. I've been finding alternatives to Anakin ever since he broke, and Obi-Wan's doing pretty well for himself right now. I quite like how he feels and how he plays. Obi-Wan is pretty slippery when it comes to his abilities and playstyle. I like being able to slip past my enemy's defenses, but I also love having a ridiculous defense myself. Obi-Wan, thankfully, has both. Not to mention that in the award screen, Obi-Wan is the only known hero to dab. Take that, Anakin. The only thing that's missing is a T-pose. Coming in at the halfway point is Han Solo. I like how he plays, but I suck most of the time when it comes to a 1v1, especially because every time it feels like I end up with Darth Vader. All of his abilities are solid. Other than that, I have no complaints or further praise for him. His cards are cool, and yep. Above Han in the 9th spot will go Count Dooku. The Count is about 70% of the reason I die as Anakin. Remember the pull dominance complaint? Well, unfortunately for you, if Dooku has already done expose weakness on you, and Duelist, especially with these cards, and go to town on you, you're dead. That animation kills you. It's scary as hell to see how much damage you do. That's far too much damage for any one hero to have. My goodness. It also helps that Dooku's attacking stamina is ridiculous, and his dodges are nearly perfect. He's not great against infantry, but is still able to surprise even the most alert. Hell, he's so good he might just expose weakness to infantry by looking at them. Number 8, let's give this to Luke. Whoa, man. We're almost out of heroes to put here. I know. Luke is an absolutely terrifying menace. Second best hero on the dark side in my humble opinion, but there are 6 villains that all reign over Luke, and that's a little scary sounding, ain't it? His abilities allow for a lot of damage, especially against infantry. There's a pretty good reason why there are a lot of Luke Skywalker kill streaks on YouTube. He's by far one of the easier heroes to play, but his defense and stamina leave a lot to be desired. If you want to survive most of your encounters, you probably want the stamina card. He's not fun to fight, but plenty of fun to fight as. Number 7 is Iden Versio. Despite being the 4th worst character to come out of Disney, Iden is a pretty terrifying sight to see. With her noob tube stun droid and ridiculous fire rate, I'm starting to play her a lot more often. I run these cards on her and notice it's pretty difficult to counter whatever the hell this is that's going on. There are a few ways to play Iden, and I'm no master of her quite yet. This doesn't stop her from making the hero team cower in the fetal position. Her low health and 0 defense against lightsaber wielders are drawbacks, especially in heroes versus villains. But it's kind of necessary given what she is capable of. Iden, like another heroes on this list, is anti just about everything. I think she rightfully deserves this spot. Number 6 will go to Darth Maul. Despite how buggy he can be, I find myself doing really well with Maul. His block is broken after doing a spin attack, so I changed up my entire playstyle with him, and I think it worked out for the better. Hey, so Feature Pope here. That last part is important, but that issue got resolved in the previous patch. Thought I should let you know. Okay, bye. And for reference, here are the cards that I use for him. The fact that this keeps him well-rounded really helps with dealing with more than a few heroes at a time. Darth Maul slaughters in heroes versus villains, no matter who plays him. Okay, so that part's kind of important. Number 5, let's give it to Kylo Ren. His abilities are a great combination, but the cooldowns really hold him back. On top of the small and unnecessary nerf that he got that keeps him from the tippity top. I mained Kylo for a little bit before the saber system straight up died, and it was scary how often I'd end up killing the heroes. Ultimately, Kylo is again absolutely terrifying, and his freeze ability, although easy enough to counter, is still a nightmare to deal with. I believe it is the longest stun ability in the entire game. Pull doesn't do a crazy amount of damage, but leaves you vulnerable for long enough for Frenzy to kick in. Speaking of, Frenzy is broken, and it works in Kylo's favor. The last strike of Frenzy always seems to hit, unless you're pulled out of the animation. Number 4, Rey Solo. Yes, Rey Solo. I used to talk so much smack about Rey. Used to. Now I see just how much stronger she really is. Mind Trick, still one of the strongest abilities in the game. It weirds me out still, and I've been playing for almost 3 years, on again, off again. It's made even scarier with cards like these. I don't think there's a terrible card combination for Rey. Stamina almost doesn't even seem to be an issue for her either. You can bait people into attacking and then use her rush ability, and it's so much fun to do. It's borderline not even fair. And that's all the heroes. Can you guess who the next 3 are? So although I give them number 3, number 2, and number 1, I honestly believe all these characters are on the same level. So despite the fact that Darth Vader is next, he's still a tyrannical reaper of doom. Despite the nerf that he got recently, which doesn't really do anything, I still die to him about 90% of the time in heroes versus villains. There's pretty much no counter to him, and it's scary to fight him alone. Who would win, the most powerful Jedi in the known galaxy or one depressy boy? My money is on the producers. I don't die as easily when I'm Vader, and that's largely due to his kit. So not only is his stamina already straight up busted, but you can add the bust on top of that if you grab both of his stamina cards, and then put a damage reduction on top of that, activate Focused Rage, or even better, when you're in heroes versus villains, you can equip both of his choke cards and just wait until 2 blaster heroes are next to each other. Number 2, Palpatine. Every single time that I see Palpatine stroll up, it's always alright. Who's the asshole? My money is on this guy. That being said, Palpatine isn't without his drawbacks. He has 0 way to defend himself against any attack aside from dodging. That being said, he has the best dodge in the entire game, and has the ability to stun anyone who's too busy swing spamming. What really stands out is his lightning. Probably the best attack in the whole game. It drains hella stamina, deals a lot of damage, and combined with chain lightning can deal even more damage. Shame Rey can reflect all the lightning back onto him. Again. Anyway, number 1, the greatest Jedi killer to be put on screen. General Grievous takes the cake as the most powerful hero. Why are you the way that you are? Okay, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but everyone still attacks him during Unrelenting Advance. His thrust surge will hit you no matter how much you dodge away. And when he hits you, because he will, he goes into spider mode and deals even more damage. His low stamina doesn't even matter anymore as he can just endlessly attack you. Ability, ability, attack, drain stamina, Unrelenting Advance, ability, ability, attack, and repeat. Honestly, it's the most mind-numbing gameplay you've ever seen. He will drain your stamina, he will likely kill you, and there's nothing you can do about it. You lose, I win. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Time to abandon ship. So that's my tier list. What a tragedy it is. What did we learn from this? This game is still broken. The heroes are imbalanced as hell. Anakin is useless. Palpatine's probably still alive. The Clone Wars is still the best Clone Wars game. Fight me. And my will to keep going is slipping through my fingers. What a video we've made here today. So what did you think of this list? Where would you put everyone in Battlefront 2? Is Phasma secretly the best hero? Is it Bosk? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I will happily read through all of them. Would you like a reinforcement tier list too? I'll give you a quick one. The Commandos, everyone else, the Flame Trooper. Anyway, liking the video helps put this out there on YouTube and shows me you want more content like this. And subscribing is a great way to keep up on all my shenanigans, especially if you ring the bell. Before I leave you, I have a challenge to remind you of. October 6th, I think, marks 1 year of consistent, if you really want to call this consistent, content. And, you know, October 20 is my birthday. If I reach 25,000 subscribers by October 6th, I will release a video my older subscribers have been waiting for, and apparently these people that have been signing this petition. It's an older type video that actually blew up a little when it first came out, you know, despite its awful quality and low effort. It may seem impossible, but it wouldn't be a challenge if it weren't hard. Hell, if I reach 50,000 by then, I'll release the Jedi Academy video too. That's also gonna be a dummy humongous project. In the meantime, that'll be it for me. Have a lovely day, and don't forget to drink water.